Hey guys, if you people are planning to start your own construction business in a small scale, like residential building or commercial building, this video is for you people. I have split up this video into a number of parts to make you understand what all the advantages you are going to get it as a site engineer, what all the things you can learn as a site engineer and set your business very soon. Let's start the video. In this present video, we are going to see two things. Number one, the earthwork excavation, what all has to be observed as a site engineer, and what all the data he has to collect it while working as a site engineer, which will be helpful for him in setting up his construction business in the later days. Second thing is laying of plain cement concrete as a bed concrete inside the footing, like inside the pit, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of it. So in this particular video, we are going to discuss about soil excavation and PCC. Number one, first, the soil excavation. So generally what happens is we will be very active during the marking phase. Okay. When actually the soil work starts, the working team will come and they will be start excavating the soil. As a site engineer, we will be on the site seeing that soil excavated regularly. Okay. It's a kind of boring kind of thing for us to see the soil excavating and all those things. But there are a lot of things to learn while the soil excavation is going on. Number one is we should understand whether if there is any filled up soil present on the site or not. Filled up soil means there may be certain soil which was filled on the site to level the soil, to level the land. For example, we can just I just draw a excavation pit. For example, this is the excavation. What exactly is actually happening? 5 feet. If I take the cross section, this is already excavated. If I take the layer of the soil, for example, like this, we might get some very loose soil with plastic, glass, or any like brick battens or so many things here as a particles inside this soil. So these soils are the filled up soil which we have come to know by seeing these particular additional products or the foreign materials present in this particular soil. Then when we are going to excavate this, when we are at this level, we will see some loose soil or we may see that some natural soil itself, very good soil. Okay. Then at 5 feet depth after coming here, next we might get a very good gravel soil here. So the layers, how the layer is going to change, whether any foreign material is present in the soil or not. If we might incorporate, like we might see the pore water, like the water table, which is at a very top level. So these parameters, we should see to it physically and understand the importance of it and how we can actually handle these situations in the due course. So during soil excavation, we should not sit, like just stand at the corner of a site and just we have to just operating the mobile and passing our time. It's not like that. We should actually go inspect each and every pit, what exactly the layer is changing, whether is there any filled up soil, how it has to be tackled. All those things has to be seen and make a note of it, keeping the grid lines. Okay, when we are going to market, we will be having a grid line for every footing with respect to the grid line. Like for example, A2 in the grid A2, what are the observations we made. So these observations, when we do it constantly in different sites as a site engineer, it will become a habit for us. So when it becomes a habit for us, when we set up our construction business in the later days, it will become a very easy for us to tackle these kinds of problems immediately. Or else what happens, we will be, when we are going to set up our own construction business, that will be a new topic for us. So in that situation, we will start thinking in that particular time. So that should not happen. So soil excavation is very, very important for a site engineer. He should actually see to it very carefully. That is the first part. Second thing is when they are going to excavate the earth, okay, you should see two dimensions, one at the top and one at the bottom. Because in most of the cases, what happens is, I'll just clear this frame. So in most of the cases, what happens is when they are going to start excavating, we might not see this through our naked eye, like common man's eye. It will be like this. At the top, it may be a 5 feet, for example. At the bottom, it may be 4 feet 6 inches. There may be a what do you call small kind of inclination will be there, because of which the dimension at the bottom will be less. So as a site engineer, what you have to do, you have to go and inspect at the dimensions at the bottom and you have to trim it off. Okay, you have to trim off this surface, this extra surface, and you should make it 5 feet exactly as given by the structural engineer. This is one of the major mistake what most of the site engineers will do, even have done this. Okay, I've learned very in my later stages, because of which setting up my business took a lot of time. Okay, even I have done the mistakes like this on my side. So these are all the things has to be observed by a site engineer importantly. And the third one, when we are going to excavate the earth, okay, this earth is excavated, the soil whatever it has been lumped next to the pit has to be cleared minimum 1 feet away from the pit. For example, if the pit is like this, the rectangle or the square pit, whatever it is, the soil, whatever the loose soil is there, it should be lumped minimum of the minimum 1 feet away from the excavated earth. This is the only reason, because what happens is if this loose earth is present, there may be chances of when we are going to put the PCC here, there will be a lot of movement will be there here. So there may be chance of felling of this earth material into the pit again. And it may cause a lot of destruction while putting the concrete onto the foundation. We have to clean it up. We have to just again put it back to its. All these things we should observe it and we should monitor it as a site engineer. When we start doing this and when we make a checklist of it, okay, I have to check this, I have to check this, I have to check this, and this checklist is ready with you people. When you are going to start your own construction business in the later days, it will become like it's a very easy job. It will become a very easy job, and you can take any number of projects because you will be knowing, you will be having the knowledge of it, basic knowledge of it. Okay, this is the third part. Next, the major fourth and very important thing is if there is any loose material present here in the pit like this, any loose particles, what you have to do, you have to immediately take it off. You have to immediately take it off. Okay, that time itself. And what you have to do, you have to ask your labor to fill it up with a mortar. Okay, a very mean, it may be a not strong mortar, a mortar, so that what happens is when you are actually starting the work over there, there may be a chances of scooping of the particle, maybe like because of the vibration of the mixer or anything, that particle may be scooped and it may fell into the pit again. So these are the some of the things which we have to understand, which we have to see it as a site engineer when we are actually practicing. Next comes the PCC. What is PCC? It's a plain cement concrete. Generally, the ratio will be 1:3:6 or 1:4:8. It depends upon the structural designer, whatever he gives. Okay. Even thickness of the PCC also varies. This is one is the PCC. Another one is the soling. Soling, or what do you call? We can call it as a big coarse aggregate, which will be having more than like uh, we can call it as more than 50 mm, more than 50 mm, like a big powders kind of thing. Soling filling we call it as soling filling. I'll tell why we do this. Okay, these things are the next second step after excavating the earth. Here what happens is, why this PCC we are going to do it here is, or the soling filling, when we are going to excavate the earth. Okay, the bottom, to level the bottom properly, okay, to level this layer properly to the tube level, exactly to the tube level, we are going to lay the PCC. That is the first reason why we are going to lay the PCC. Second reason is we are actually putting up a mat here. The first reason is to level up the bottom surface. Okay, the earth surface will not be exactly horizontal. To level it up, we are going to lay the PCC maybe 3 inches or 4 inches thick. It depends upon the structural designer, what he is going to provide us the details. So we are going to level it up and we are going to make a proper level. Then we are going to lay the reinforcement onto it. We are going to lay the reinforcement onto it, giving the proper covering. Covering is very, very important. You can see one of my YouTube shorts video. It's in Ask Sri Rama Rao. You can just search in YouTube. In the same channel. Okay, there is a short video wherein I have shown this actually when we are putting the column using the crane. You can observe the mat there. Below the mat, we have put the covering blocks over there. Okay, here what you can do is put the covering block below this and lay the covering block here at regular intervals and put the mat on this. When we do this PCC on exactly at the proper layer and put the covering block, and then we are going to put the footing mat, what happens is that mat will not go and sit onto the soil because covering is there. First, that is the first reason. Second thing is, if you have not put the PCC, the mat directly it may sit on the earth, because of which it will get corroded in the due course. So to maintain the footing mat, its quality and durability, and to lay it properly horizontal, we are going to use PCC. Also to level up the excavated earth surface. Okay, this is the use of PCC. Next, before, like for example, if you are having any water pressure from the bottom, or if you are having any loose earth here, okay, any loose earth here, formation of loose earth here. So what we will do, we are going to fill it with using the soling. Soling means it's a big stone, that's it. We'll be having more than 50 mm, 60, 70, up to 200, 200, up to 200 to 50 mm it will be there. And inside this, we are going to fill it with M sand or sand. So this is called as soling with sand filling. We are going to level this by using the sand filling. Then we are going to lay the PCC. First the soling will come, then the PCC will come. Here what happens is, if the water pressure is there from the bottom, the water pressure will be such that it may lift the building. Okay, it will be having that kind of pressure. So to cut this pressure, that is one of the reason why we are going to lay the soling. And another one is because of the loose earth, there may be a deflection will be there. Deflection means, or what do you call, settlement will be there in the foundation level. So if we fill this boulders, it will certain grip for the foundation, so that the settlement will not be as expected. It will be in the within the limits. So these things will be searched by the structural engineers. So in this part one, okay, as a site engineer, what exactly we have learned here. One is with respect to the soil, earthwork excavation, and how, what all the loose earth, how we have to encounter the loose earth, what are the measurements we have to take, all those things. Second one is PCC. So this is in the first part we have learned these two items. In the next coming week, we are going to see the next part of it, like how to place the mat, how to place the column rods, what are the bar bending activity we have to do it on the site, how we have to see, how we have to observe all those things. Okay, so this completes the part one. We'll see you in the part two. Thank you.